Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
Are you guys ready?
Yeah!
Are you guys ready? Yes. Welcome to How to Draw Ponies, the easy approach. My name is DrawPonies, and I draw ponies. My website is DrawPonies.com. I've been drawing ponies for about a year now. Before that, I really sucked at drawing. I drew a webcomic for about a year that was totally horrible. You should not look at it.
Tell us what it is, we will.
No, it's going to remain anonymous so that the horrible images can float by themselves, not being seen on the internet.
We all know that's not true.
Now, I have another question. How many of you guys listen to this show, Dr. Who's Adventures by Pony in a Box?
No.
Not Dr. Who's an assistant, but Dr. Who's Adventures by Pony in a Box with Twilight and Dr. Who's.
Yes.
You do? Awesome. Even if you don't remember, you might recognize me. I do some of the voice acting for them, like Sonic Kazoo, we have been taken on all sides by Hoofing troops. So, thank you. If you have not watched any of the Pony in a Box shows, they are all awesome. I'm in Daring Do Adventures and Dr. Who's Adventures, and their upcoming show, Ne'er-Do-Well Adventures, is going to be great. So you should definitely watch them. All right. So, now let's get started. Now, you might look at this picture like this that I drew, and you might be like, wow, that's so beyond my level of skill. Like, there's no way that I could do that. No. Don't think that way. The only thing that separates me from you is time and practice. I've been focusing on this as my full-time job for the past year. So, I've had a little bit of practice.
No, just a little.
But I don't know.
So, you might look at the art that I do, or that Sophie Cobra does, or even Hot Diggity Demon, and you'd be like, no. But that's okay. The first ponies that I drew, they looked like fat dogs. Do not look at the first images on my DeviantArt. Look at the most recent ones. But if you can draw a circle and basic lines, you can draw a pony. All it takes is time and practice, and a few tips and tricks. You accidentally drew a pony. Oh, well then. So you were just like, one day you were eating your cereal. You were like, achoo! Oh my God, it's a pony! That's not what happened? Okay, well you can tell me about it during the question and answer portion. Right now, listen. Okay. Now here is one example of how much you can improve if you practice. This girl is famous across the Brony community for her art, but you might not guess from this first sketch that she uploaded to her Tumblr just about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. She now draws like this.
Oh my God.
1 year later?
Yes, about a year later she was drawing like this. So don't just take my word for it. If you practice and are continually improving, you can draw well. One way to improve is to get expert advice, which I'll do my best to give you today. The advice that I will give is specifically tailored to sketching, but the principles apply to other art forms as well, such as digital art. Our lesson is in 3 separate parts. First, a short presentation, which we are doing right now. That presentation is about the basics of horse anatomy. We're going to talk about construction drawing and how to make your pony using simple circles and lines. Then after that, we're going to draw a pony. I'll be able to give you as much help as you need. You guys can ask questions. If you guys have pen and paper, you're welcome to draw along. Yes. So if you don't have pen and paper, then remember everything that you learned, and then run up the door and get a pen and paper and draw. Record it. There you go. This is going to be on Ponyville Live, right? Yes? Okay, awesome.
Trying to get audio.
I'm on TV.
Woo! Woo! Okay.
You are? Oh, so.
So let's get started. So horse anatomy.
How?
Now,
How?
question. I know. I'm showing you an example of how the ponies in the show have the same bone structure as a real pony. Many beginners don't realize this and have trouble with leg positioning or where to put the head. But when you realize the ponies have 3 very specific bones in their legs, they have a spine just like any animal. The spine can't be like this. It's much easier. You'll notice that on the characters in the show, the rib cage and the rump are kind of squished together. There's not really any room for the internal organs, unlike on a real horse. Apparently, they just breathe by magic. Who knows? But the head is much bigger to give it more of a like anime cartoon style. But nevertheless, even though there are these differences, the bone structure is the same. So, next, we're going to talk about construction drawing. Construction drawing is using simple circles and lines to figure out the posing of your character before adding details. So you use that skeleton of the pony to figure out where the parts of the pony are before you start adding the outlines and the details. One of the most common mistakes that I see beginners make is drawing a very detailed head and then moving on to the body. What if halfway through you realize it's positioned wrong? Use construction drawing and that problem is a thing of the past. Now, if you need any more proof that construction drawing is a good method, construction drawing is used by virtually every cartoon artist in the world except beginners. Beginners are the only ones who don't use it. So, as an example, this is some art by Sibsy, the head storyboard artist of My Little Pony. As you can see, it's a little bit hard to see just on this projector, but there's gray lines that you can see she used to make the circle. She used a circle here to show where the shoulder was. She used simple lines to show where the legs were. Using construction drawing, it's easier to make a two-dimensional image, an image drawn on a piece of paper, look three-dimensional, and it simplifies the process of drawing immensely. If you needed any more proof, this is also the method that Lauren Faust uses. Yes, it's Pinkie Pie, drawn by Lauren Faust. You can see she used a circle for the head. Again, she used just simple lines to show where the body was and then where the legs were. Sorry?
She does.
Yeah, why she
I guess she's wearing Pinkie Pie with wings. This is probably
She can grow fingers.
She can grow wings. She's halfway to becoming
She
out.
could grow hair, but she could grow wings.
She can also grow fingers.
Quiet, please. Quiet, please. Shush, 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 shush. You're listening to me right now. Thank you. Okay. Now, how do you use construction drawing to draw a pony? Oh dear, that's very dark. I'm sorry.
We might be able to open the contract.
I have no idea how to do that. I'm sorry.
I don't want to interrupt. Okay, maybe we can.
If you kill everything, I'm going to kill you.
I'm not going to touch it.
Okay. Sorry that it's difficult to see. I'll be able to show you when I'm going to plug in my webcam and I'm going to draw on screen in a minute. I'll be able to show you. It'll be easier to see then. What you're going to do is you're going to draw 3 circles. You draw a circle here for the head, and you draw 2 squished together circles for the rib cage, and then here for the butt. Yes, I did say butt. That's true. What? Okay. Next, you're going to add simple construction lines to show. Oh, dear Lord, I'm sorry that this is difficult to see. Maybe that would help. I don't know.
A little, yeah.
A little bit? Yeah. Okay. Again, when I'm drawing on the webcam, I'll be able to show you. It'll be easier to see. So here's the head. You're going to divide the head into 4 sections. If you divide the head into 4 sections, then this 8th line shows you where the horn goes. The ear starts right here. The ear starts halfway down the head. If you divide it into 8ths and then into 16ths, that's a good trick to show where the nose should go. You're going to draw the line for the spine. The spine is very important. You're going to draw just simple lines to show where the legs go.
So you're going to be doing a drawing of this because it's kind of tough for me.
That's good.
Yes. Again,
That looks better.
I'm sorry this is difficult to see. So yes, I'm going to be drawing on webcam. It'll be easier to see. There's just a problem with this projector apparently. Okay, next, outlines. Now, this is what everyone wants to start with, but do not do outlines until you have figured out the positioning of your pony. Again, I'm going to show you this on the webcam. But a few tips. A common mistake is to put the ear on top of the head like the pony has horns. No, the pony's ears do not look like this. The pony's ears start halfway down the head like this.
Like this?
No.
Like this.
There we go. Okay. The ear starts halfway down the head. The ear is about the same size as the eye, give or take. As you can see here, the muzzle on a female pony is rounded, unless some artists draw the muzzles pointed like as a style choice, but when you're starting out, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and give it that nice rounded look like it has in the show. For the belly, what you're going to do is you're just going to draw a line connecting the two circles that you drew, the one for the rib cage and the one for the rump. That's an easy way to figure out where the belly should go. The next step is to add lots of details. So you're going to add the eye, you're going to add the horn, you're going to add clothing. So that's the next step that we talk about here.
Do I have to add clothing?
You don't have to add clothing, no.
We have to.
No, no, you don't. No. Again, this is a big jump, but I can't really talk about how to draw every specific type of clothing that you will encounter. That's why you use references. You should. This is Twilight Sparkle as Athena. Yes. But you should always use a reference, especially if you're drawing something complicated. Like for this drawing, what I did was I just looked up some pictures of like Roman costumes, and I drew based on that. So you should. That's another common mistake that I see beginners make is they're just like I want to draw Pinkie Pie. Let's just start drawing Pinkie Pie, and you're like no. Take 2 seconds. Go to your computer, look up an image of Pinkie Pie so that you can get the mane to look right. For example, this is a very complicated shape. If you already know, that's awesome, and you're a practiced artist. When you're not a practiced artist, you should always use references.
I always practice. Wait, what happened?
Ladies? Quiet, please. I'm going to do a question and answer session in just a minute, and you'll be able to talk quite a bit, probably not as much as you want. Okay. Let's see. If you were looking on Twitter a couple of days ago, Lauren Faust posted a tweet. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she said that I think how it was imagine that you have 10,000 bad drawings inside of you, and you have to get those out before you can make a really amazing piece of art. I think that's very good advice. Like you have to practice a lot before you're like, this is like the best thing I've ever seen. So while you're practicing, you should experiment with different views. You should experiment with 3/4 views. You could experiment with drawing male ponies. Like here, you have my OC Newsworthy. I like to draw the Brayburn style head, where it's pretty easy. You just draw a line from the top of the head down here to make a pointy muzzle, then down and swoop back for the mouth. So, and you go to your inspiration. Okay. Next, a few tips and tricks specifically for the My Little Pony style. Again, if you take nothing else away from this presentation, please remember to use construction drawing and to practice from references. The place that I get a lot of my references that I use is the My Little Pony Vector Club on DeviantArt. This is actually a picture from when I was just starting out drawing. What I did was I found this vector, and then just for practice, I drew the vector as I saw it on DeviantArt. So that's a really good way to learn the proportions, learn the anatomy of the ponies before you go on to start drawing your original designs. One question that I get a lot is, what if you're drawing a character for which you don't have an original, like you don't have a reference, like if you're drawing an OC or something like that? What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to DeviantArt or Google Images, somewhere like that. You're going to want to find a similar pose to what you want to do. Draw your pony in that pose, and then add the mane, add the tail to make it your own custom pony. add the different cutie mark, whatever. So, next, eyes. Eyes are the window to the soul, and in My Little Pony they are really gigantic. They're like, if it was on a human, it'd be like, I'm a pony! I'm so kawaii! You'll notice that the characters' eye shapes differ based on their attributes. Like Rarity has big eyelashes for glamour. Rainbow Dash has more tomboyish eyes. Fluttershy has like swooping eyelashes to be like, I'm so shy. You'll also know how cute the character is. Most of the adult ponies have 2 highlights in the eye. The fillies and colts have 3. And Big Macintosh, some of the villains only have 1. That's a really good way to differentiate how cute the character is. The more cute the character, the more highlights they'll have in their eye. It's a technique that's transferred over from others. Exactly.
Oh.
Now, you'll notice that the eyes on all of the My Little Pony characters, the iris of the eye is actually darker here at the top and lighter here at the bottom. It's because in most environments, the light is going to be coming down from above, so it's going to hit more down here. And you're going to want to just do a light gradient there. So if you're using a pencil, just color it darker at the top and color it a little bit lighter at the bottom. No big deal. So.
No biggie.
Okay. If you are drawing a Pegasus pony, you're generally going to want to draw the wings either folded or outstretched. If the wings are folded, you just draw a little egg shape. Just a little bit of a squished egg shape, and just add the lines for the wings. If you're going to draw the wings outstretched, you're just going to want to draw the 4 feathers there, and then the inside feathers. Again, look at a reference. It's very important to look at a reference when you're drawing Pegasus wings, because they're a very complicated shape. Colts and fillies. Again, this is my OC again. He's awesome. For colts and fillies, several things to keep in mind. Really big round eyes, stubby little legs, stubby little horn if they're a unicorn, stubby little wings if they're Pegasus. Everything is stubby. What is stubby? Small, short. So again, you're going to want to use references. Anytime you are drawing a pony, you should have a reference. Even if it's not a pose, even if you can't find the pose that you want to do, you should find a similar pose. Like if you're going to draw a pony flying, you should find a similar drawing of a pony flying, so that you can make sure that you get the perspective right, so that make sure you get the proportions right, that type of thing. Shading. When you are shading, generally in the show, the only shading that you have to do is just the circle underneath them. If they're in bright light, generally the only thing that's different is there's just the circle underneath them, and then the far leg is a little bit darker. You'll notice if you look at pieces of artwork. But if you decide you want to add extra shadows or extra highlights to accentuate your piece of artwork, what you're going to want to do is find your light source. So in this picture, the light source is the pot. The pot is glowing. So the light is coming this way. So that's why it hits the shapes here. You want to think about the shapes that make up your picture. So like the head is a sphere. So it hits it's going to hit it in that similar shape. Similar to a beach ball, where the light is hitting a beach ball. Think about how it would look in that scenario.
That's going to be really shiny.
Yes! And of course, shadows are the same way. You just think about your light source and think about where the shadows would fall. It takes practice, and it takes a lot of looking at references. Keep those things in mind, and you will be well on your way. Now, let's go to the webcam and put what we learned into practice.
Trixie has the most
Background. I like the background.
Yes, the light icon would be good. Okay, let's see. I need to go to camera. Stupid Windows 8. I hate Windows 8 so much.
Me too.
Okay.
Oh, right. I got my eyes.
Linux? You use Linux?
I have no idea how to work.
Downgrade.
These dashes.
Windows 8 sucks. So horrible. No. Mac is worse because it can't run programs.
Oh, man.
No. Come on. Let's get a higher resolution of that. Okay.
You use Google Chrome, right?
It's not letting me go to webcam. I don't know. There we go. Hello. There I am. Hello.
Good. Converted.
So does anybody have any questions right off the bat? You guys, what are you guys thinking? Yes.
You mentioned that you could draw ponies if you could draw lines and you could draw circles. This is a half serious, half not serious question. What if you can't draw circles?
That is actually a question. I get a lot of, like a lot of people tell me that they can't draw circles, and I'm like, well, time to practice drawing circles. Draw 5 pages of just circles. It's not super fun, but it's how you learn. Okay. So,
There's all over the place for circles.
okay, can you see that? Okay, and then I'll just turn the paper around when I finish things. So. Yes.
You sound, or like, kind of common, but you sound like a Rainbow Dash from Rainbow Dash.
Unfortunately, I am not that person. I wish I was, but I do sound a lot like that. Let's see. Rainbow Dash presents Captain Hook and the Biker Gorilla.
Oh my god, I love that one.
Yes.
Circles versus volumes. At what point do you start using volumes?
Oh, that is an exceptionally good question. Ponies are generally simple enough that you don't have to use volumes. Some artists do use volumes to draw ponies, especially for a complicated pose. I generally just use circles and lines. So it does depend on how complicated the pose is.
Follow-up question, what's a volume?
What is a volume? Okay. Yes, this is a good question. Okay, I'll just draw some examples. So a circle would just be a regular circle, obviously. Now a volume would be if you're a volume would be, for example, what you're going to use to draw the head. If you're drawing from a side view, you're going to use a volume, which would be.
Can you turn the camera around so you see the, like, it looks like down. It's kind of weird.
That's circle.
Oh, okay, I guess.
I don't know if I can. Camera option.
Okay, then we're good.
Do you need a shirt? What?
I'm sorry.
Put the laptop between your arms and put your arms around it. Face it towards us and put it down.
Very good.
It doesn't have like an invert or something. I'll just draw upside down. There we go. Here's what you're going to use to draw a. Here's what you're going to use to draw a head. You're going to draw 2 lines, and see now I've converted it from a circle to a volume because it looks like a 3-dimensional shape. So the difference between a volume and something that's not a volume would be if it's just a flat shape or whether it looks like a 3-dimensional shape on the paper.
That looks like the Xbox shape.
Awesome. Okay, so let's draw a pony. Now, as I always say, you should always use a reference. So we're going to use one of my drawings that I've done. I'm going to use this for the reference today. And I'll put it upside down so I can draw upside down. Okay. So I like to start with the head. So just draw, you just draw a round circle for the head. If you guys would like to draw along, that's awesome. I would love after the panel to see anything that you've drawn. That would be great. Next, you're going to draw a circle for the rib cage and a circle for the butt. You guys always laugh when I say butt. Hey, you guys are so mature. Seriously. Posterior.
I
think they will laugh at anything it has to do with butts. Next, you're going to draw a circle for the butt, like I said. One interesting thing to note is that generally speaking on the ponies, the back of the pony, the butt, is going to be higher up than the front. You can see that on, let's see, what's another good example? You can see that on this picture as well. The back of the pony is a little bit higher up, so that's why I'm drawing the back circle a little bit higher up than the front. Sorry? It is indeed Hogwarts Twilight, and it's available at my booth for just $10.
Is the rear circle tending to be bigger than the
I generally draw it a little bit bigger, just because it's, you know, the muscles in the back leg make up a lot of the side of it. So, or maybe she's just fat. Who knows? But Dunkin' drunk. I drew her head a little bit too big. Hold on. See, this is why you always this is why you use construction drawing, because if you make a mistake like I just did, you can just easily go back and change it. It looks the same, but see, it's smaller. See, the other one was this big.
Oh.
Attention to detail.
Attention to detail. Yes, exactly.
Is there like some kind of ratio, like how big the circle should be?
I just go by personal preference. Like, I generally draw the ponies with larger heads than they have in the show, just because I like that cutesy look. I would say for an actual show accurate pony, probably about, I don't know, twice the size of the rib cage or so. I don't know. That's just a guess. Maybe about 1.5 times. But next, you're going to draw your construction lines. So here's the line for the spine. Spine is important. We're going to draw some lines for the legs. This is just a simple pose, so I don't have to worry about the joints in the leg. But if I was going to draw her leg like bent like this, I could. And so you have 1, 2, 3 joints there. But for this one, I'll just draw her leg straight. Also, another important thing to note is that on the ponies, the legs curve outward. They curve forward and they curve backward. This is a very common mistake. Most artists that I see when they first start drawing ponies, they just draw, they're like, oh, I'm gonna draw legs. Oh, look at those lovely legs. Those are some beautiful legs on them Twilight right there. No. Because, see, the thing is that with a human, the human stands like this. Like, the human stands like this. Because that's how humans stand. Whereas a horse has 4 legs, it has to have more balance. So on a real horse and on a pony, the legs go forward and backward. So, just like that. And then, let's see if I can get this right. Drawing upside down. Woo! I'm awesome! There we go. Again, you're going to just make it curve backward a little bit. See that? Okay. Can you guys see that? Okay. Excellent. Okay. Let's see. Other construction lines. You're going to want to draw some lines for the neck. Now that you've got the basic shape, you can start fleshing it out. So we're going to draw a line for the neck. Draw a line for the back. Belly. I'll draw some other lines for the other legs. So now we have the basic shape of a pony. Now, at this point, you want to look at your reference and compare them and say, does this look like my reference? Does this look like the pose that I want to do? And if not, you need to erase and change it until it does. And then go on to add your details. So since I'm pleased with the way this looks right now, I'll just go ahead and continue. So we'll go ahead and start adding the legs. Of course, the legs are a bit wider at the bottom than the top.
So it's like small, then it gets fat?
Yes, exactly. Next, we're going to add the belly. The belly. Get it, my belly. Okay, we're going to add the back leg. The back legs are challenging to get right. Again, it just takes a lot of practice and working from references. I like to, as I showed you just a minute ago, I like to draw a Z shape to show where the leg is. Actually, let me turn this around for just a second so I can get this to look right. But you're going to want to, that's just the way that, it was explained to me, and it works. So just draw a Z shape to show the muscles in the leg. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so now we have our basic body shape and the legs that are closest to the viewer. Let's add the legs that are farther away from the viewer. Okay, how are we doing on time? What time is it?
8:36. 8:36.
Oh my gosh!
I said it first.
Excellent. Okay, now something that I really like to do at my panels, because it's always interesting to see what happens. Okay, while I'm drawing, we're going to have a quick contest to see who is the best pony. Okay, you guys are all going to vote by cheering. Okay. It's just the amount of volume, my dear. The amount of volume. So it's just the main six because we can't go through all the ponies. If we went through like, fancy pants, it'd be like, one person. Just the main six for this one. Yes.
Isn't that biased against Fluttershy fans?
It has to
Like your iron will.
Yay!
Okay, so who should we start with?
Let's start with the best pony, Rainbow Dash.
Okay, let's go with Rainbow Dash first. Rainbow Dash fans! So, okay, that was pretty loud. Okay, let's see, Twilight Sparkle. That wasn't quite as loud. That wasn't quite as loud. Okay, now Fluttershy. That was good. I don't know, I'm still thinking Rainbow Dash right now. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's see, Verity. You hurt my ears. Okay, let's see. Applejack.
I thought we weren't including background colors.
That was pretty good. Okay, well we have to go with the last one. Pinkie Pie.
Testosterone levels.
That sounded like the loudest to me, so apparently Pinkie Pie is the best.
Yes.
Oh, great job, guys. Great job.
Other ruin.
My favorite, enthusiastic, okay?
We have actual conversation.
Whatever. Just get out of my life. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Rainbow Dash.
The way that I draw the muzzle is just to start, again, I didn't draw the construction lines on this one, but you can just see, actually I probably should draw that one. We have the head, again, the line is about 1/16 or so, right here, where the muzzle starts. Then go back down to the base of the head, make a nice smooth line all the way up there. Oh yeah, now it probably has a mouth. Oh my gosh. I won't have time to make any more than one drawing, unfortunately. But here is her ear. Again, remember the ear starts halfway down the head. I tend to draw the ears like really big, but you know, you can draw them however you want. Then, let's see, let's add the eyeballs. Generally for the eyeballs, what I'll do for the far eye is just start from where the nose ends. That I find that to be a good guideline of where the far eye is going to start. And then the eye that's closer is just going to fill most of the face. If you're me, I draw the eyes larger than they are actually in the show. You can draw them again like they are in the show, where they're about the same size as the ear. So, thank you. All right, so let's add some more details. Her horn is about an eighth of the way down. So here's an eighth, right about there. Should this be alicorn twilight or regular twilight?
Alicorn twilight! Alicorn! I think no water is special.
Twilight corn.
There we go.
You might as well just like
to show you how I draw wings. So okay. So our drawing wings are twilight cord.
That episode looked insane.
Okay, now I'm going to start erasing the guidelines. Once you get a pose that you like, you can start erasing the guidelines. So that it looks more like a real pony and not just like a box of spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
So much spaghetti!
Well, guess what?
So this is how much spaghetti you would have?
All of it.
I can have spaghetti.
Yes. You can't have.
I can know that one episode.
Okay.
Never put them down.
Now let's go in Twilight. Oh my gosh. Okay. There we go. What? Okay, so we have Alicorn Twilight. She is coming along quite nicely. Now, while I add some details, we'll take some more questions. Questions, anyone? Yes.
Who's your favorite pony?
My favorite is Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash agrees.
Alright, quiet, please.
Okay, so like what if you're trying to draw, like I can never find any guys for like ponies who are like standing up or like not in the natural pose, you know what I mean?
Okay, just a basic pose like this?
Well yeah, it's like I always see them like in that basic pose, like is there somewhere you can go to see ponies or like guidelines for ponies?
Oh yeah, again, the best way to find references is to go on the My Little Pony Vector Club on YouTube, because it's very heavily like monitored to make sure that all of the images that are put there are show accurate. So that's a really good place to go. That way you know that you're getting one that actually looks accurate. As for the guidelines, I mean, all of the information for the guidelines that I gave is, and you can actually see it, it's on my DVR. So if you need the guidelines just for a basic pose. Again, what you need to be able to do is think about what shape you want to draw, and think about where the shapes go. So where is the head, where's the rib cage, where's the butt, where are the legs? On a pony. All right, anybody else? Question? Sign my Rainbow Dash. Sign your Rainbow Dash.
I know, right?
Sign my shirt. Can you?
Do you guys not have any more questions?
I couldn't think of any.
There you go.
The main. Miss the main.
What did you do before ponies?
What did I do before ponies? Well, I actually did a YouTube channel where I did video blogs, and the video blogs did not do very well. They got about 100 views each. So that was kind of a dud. After I did that,
Alicorn Twilight, or is that Twilight Sparkle?
This is Alicorn Twilight. After that, I started a YouTube channel where I put audiobooks of public domain books. It has that one was much more successful. It has about 3.5 million views.
Whoa.
So that's quite fun. And you know, when I graduated from college, I was not making enough money really to do anything except be on the computer and sit. So I just drew ponies all the time. So, and I made that into my new job. So, yeah.
So your job is making ponies?
Yes.
Yeah. When did you become a brony?
I became a brony about a little over a year ago. Awesome.
How old are you?
I am 21.
Muzzle shape. Do you just freehand that, or do you use a shape in the undersketch, like a rectangle or a circle?
Oh, gotcha. I generally just freehand it. Again, it's a lot of these irregular shapes. You just practice it. I don't know. I don't really have any more insight to give in that. I'm sorry. Yes.
I have another question. When did you start voice acting?
When did I start voice acting? Ooh, that's a good question. Like all of my life, people had told me, you should do voice acts for cartoons because you have a cartoon voice. And I'm like, yeah, but if, you know, if I lived in LA, so I started listening to this radio show called Doctor Who's Adventures, and it's so awesome. And I saw they had auditions, and I was like, hey, I should try out for that because I have an awesome voice.
Who's your favorite
Cutie Mark Crusaders, they're okay. I like Scootaloo because she...
Okay, I got another question.
I like Scootaloo because she likes Scootaloo.
Do you ever use like a tablet, or would you recommend it?
I do use a tablet. Let's see, did I just which one?
And like, what program do you use?
Yes, the tablet that I use is the Ponies 5. This is basically a step up from Bamboo. Like, Bamboo is about $60. This is about $200. So,
What's the difference?
this has more pressure sensitivity. Like, you can have more fine lines. Also, the work area is bigger. So, but
Is there any program you'd recommend?
yes, Paint Tool Sci. Yes.
Because it works.
Yes, Paint Tool Sci is amazing. And it's about $50 if you buy it, or you can just torrent it for free. It's like a 50 megabyte file. It's tiny.
I'm recommending that.
I'm not recommending torrenting, no. Just letting you know that's an option if you're a lawbreaker.
Wait, what's an option for your lawbreaker? Torrents.
Well, I would love to upgrade to a Cintiq if I had $2,000 laying around. But, you know, this works perfectly well, so.
Sometimes it's just.
What's your favorite media, though? I mean, do you prefer doing the...
Favorite media? Oh, that's a good question. I like both sides of it. Like, I really enjoy doing the sketching because you can be a lot more free with it. I've seen a lot of people do digital sketching. I just enjoy traditional sketching more, so that's why I'm still doing it. But then the coloring part, it takes a really long time, but it's just very soothing. I don't know, it's very nice. So I like both.
Well, I like my OC. I do entirely traditional, and that's why I was lost. I was last pen was on vector. So
oh yeah.
Lost on it.
They're like, how do I do this with a pencil?
Question, do you draw your own backgrounds? I wondered that before.
That is an exceptionally good question. The My Little Pony Vector Club has an excellent resource for backgrounds. And what I do is, I go on there and I check with the artist to make sure it's okay. Like this one is just a vector that somebody made of the Canterlot library. And I'm like, I could spend 10 hours doing the background, or I could just ask this person nicely, and if they say yes, then I'll use it. So, it's just what I do, so. Yes?
Do you draw the character for the show?
Unfortunately, no. I wish I did. Yes, way in the back.
Do you recommend, like, are you better at traditional or digital?
I don't know if you can necessarily quantify it because because it's such a different medium. Like traditional, traditional is, I don't know. It's just completely different. I don't know. That would be for somebody else to judge. I don't know. And any other questions? Yes. My favorite color? I don't know. I like red. I like blue. I like green. I like lots of colors. 8:50. Excellent. We have about 10 more minutes. Awesome. Any other questions for me? Yes.
Why is Rainbow Dash best?
Why is Rainbow Dash the best pony? Well, what other pony goes around saying, "I'm awesome"? Clearly, she's awesome.
20% cooler.
Exactly. Clearly, she's awesome because she says it all the time.
And she has a complication with Apple all the time.
Exactly. Yes, she's more